Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Ay, still not understanding.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday. Hope that you guys have been having a great year so far, a great month, lots of prosperity and peace and blessings. Today, I wanted to make a video and kind of just chop it up with you guys and talk about the fear of missing out. The fear of missing out, like, as a young person, as an old person, or wherever you are in between, just the fear of missing out when you feel like you're like focusing on your goals and you're really trying to like stay focused and disciplined, but yet you always see like your friends going out, or you feel like you're missing like some really important events in people's lives, or like whether it's your friends, your families, and feeling like you wish that you could be like everywhere at the same time to like help support everyone. So the fear of missing out when it comes to like having fun and like being there for people, especially when you're like focusing on yourself. But also I realize that it also relates to just where you thought that you would be in life at a certain point. Like, I'm about to be 28 in a couple of months, and I thought that by now, like, I would have been talking to a nice man for like a couple of years, and we're like engaged, gonna be married in a couple of years. Like, I would have been living with him, maybe like on my first kid, maybe have my second in a few years. So I thought that also, like, when it comes to like my career, when it comes to like living on my own, I thought a lot of things would have happened by now at 27, about to be 28, that didn't. And I wonder if they ever will. So we're going to talk about that. And then at the end, as a little treat, I want to show you guys what I got in my swag bag for Curlfest. My first time going, and it was yesterday at Prospect Park at the Lena Horn Band Show. So I want to show you guys also what I got in my swag bag at the end. It's sort of just like a not so intense, like positive note, if that makes sense, to end the video. Okay, I changed the top, by the way, because I feel like y'all have seen me in that orange Scooby-Doo top probably like 1,001 times. Like, as my mom would say, like, y'all could take my picture in it at this point. But okay, so to me, when I think of fear of missing out, I think of it in the sense of like you feeling like you're young and you're supposed to be hanging out with your friends every day, or going out all the time, or going out on all these different like lavish vacations, going to like these big parties and everything. And you feel like because you're not doing that, whether it's because of finances or, different responsibilities that you have at like in life at this point as an adult, like whether you go into school or because you take care of your family or like your siblings or stuff like that, whatever the case is. And you feel like because you're not able to go to all these different things, that like sort of like life is passing you by in a sense, or you're not having fun or experiencing life the way that you're supposed to, and you're just working and working and working, and you're wondering like, when does it pay off in a sense, or when do you get to like take a break? So that's what my definition of fear of missing out is. And I feel like a lot of that comes from like what you see in real life, or like also like what you see like on social media and everything. And I know that I can be guilty of that myself, even on days where like I said that I wasn't going to go anywhere and that I was just going to enjoy staying home and getting some rest. And so I feel like a lot of those feelings weren't happening for me like up until a certain point in life. Like, I never used to have those feelings before, like growing up and like going to school and everything, going to junior high, going to high school, and like seeing like the same people every day, and those eventually became my friends because we have the same classes, or like we have the same free periods, and we get to hang out with each other a lot, like at school or like on campus, whatever the case is. So I feel like I never really used to have that problem before, and it's not until like last year when I told you guys my story of like what happened like when I turned 27 and me trying to start over when it comes to making new and consistent friends. And so I feel like a lot of these feelings didn't happen until like I was consistently like meeting different people and women inside these different Facebook groups, and there were all these events that were always happening, or like all these different meetups, you know, a chance for you to make new friends and meet different people, etc. And they themselves, like the women would have like their own individual ways for you to like meet up with people, like whether it was like through a party or like a brunch or something. And feeling like I wasn't able to like go to all these different events because I have work, or they're happening after work when I'm sort of like exhausted already from life and everything. And I just finished like an 8-9 hour shift, like dealing with the children and dealing with the teachers and therapists and other parents and stuff, and having to answer like a million and one questions and everything. Or like it was an event, or I already was like sort of like fully like double triple booked with like different events that I was already going to go to for the day, and then my friend has an event that I'm not able to go to because I'm already sort of like preoccupied with other people and plans that we already made like in advance. And so I realized that sometimes, or even just me now, I've been like trying to like apply to graduate school for a while and like work on like essays and like applications and different things that people need to write my letters of recommendations. And so sometimes that does take up a lot of my time, and it just caused me to get tired and need some rest. And so sometimes, like, I feel like I need to take those days of self care, or take those moments where I'm just like, okay, I'm going to sit this event out because I don't want to have to spend money all the time. Or just, I've been out like already like 3-4 times in 1 week. Like, I think I can afford a couple of days off to myself. And I feel like because I felt like because I was missing out on those events that like I wasn't being productive enough, or like I wasn't having enough fun in life, or like I wasn't really making the effort to like, you know, stay consistent when it comes to meeting new people, or even just like the friends that are already in my circle that I've actually known for like however long, like, you know, a year or two or something, and I'm not able to hang out with them because I already have plans with other people. And so sometimes I do end up like beating myself up because of that, in a sense, because I feel like I'm not being like a good enough friend, or like I'm not doing enough. But I think that's when it's important to know your goals and everything, and know like what you're striving for. Or just know that you are only one person who can only be in so many places at once. So I think that it's important to give yourself that space, especially when you're grinding and you're focusing on yourself and your goals, to know that you cannot be in 10 different places at once, you know. And when I did become a part of these groups, that's when I realized the most that I have to put myself first, you know, when it comes to like my priorities and like what's really like important to me in life right now. And it's like something that like I always heard from like my grandma and like my mom growing up, like, hey, don't focus on friends, focus on your books, focus on your studies, and then the fun can happen after. It's not until like I'm starting to get older that like I'm starting to realize this a lot more. Because yes, like you have to remember sometimes, yes, like there are these parties going on and all these different vacations and things that I wish that I could be a part of, but I'm only this age once. I'm only going to be able to have certain opportunities in life one time, you know? And I want to be able to like have a certain foundation settled and a certain foundation built, so that I can like be able to relax in the future, when like I've been able to build up my career, and I've been able to build up my finances, and I've been able to build up, you know, equity and like my own apartment and everything, my own house in the future. And that's because I sort of took that time now, instead of like being outside all the time, if that makes sense. And I've always felt like there is a balance. And, you know, I never fault anyone if, like, I know that they're going to school and that I know that they have a lot on their plate. They're in, like, some sort of, like, academic program, and we just don't get to see each other for a long time. Because these things do require a lot of your energy. They require a lot of your mental energy, your physical, your spiritual. And I would never want someone to, like, have all these things on their mind, or maybe you have to study for, like, a quiz or a final coming up, but they feel like they have to drop what they're doing to, like, spend time with me. And so I'm learning that it's okay. And, like, I feel like once you build, like, that core tribe and that core, like, understanding circle that understands that part of your life and how important it is to you, then they also understand as well. And they know that you will always be there at the end, you know, when you do have time to pop out. And it's going to be a lot more appreciated, if that makes sense. Your presence is going to be, like, a lot more appreciated. Because these clubs and these parties and these events and these influencer things, they're always going to be there at the end, if that makes sense. And as I mentioned before, I'm not just feeling that, like, within, like, trying to accomplish certain goals in life. It also is coming into a fear of missing out when it comes to, like, where I thought that I would be in life. I thought that, like I mentioned, I thought that I would, like, be settled into monogamy and I would have a stable and consistent relationship that I've been with for a couple of years. And that's not necessarily the case right now. And I am on Facebook dating and, like, a couple of other apps, but I find myself in this pattern of, like, either meeting a guy and, like, we talk and we have, you know, we have some chemistry, but they get my number, we talk for, like, a week or two, but then nothing happens after that. Or I feel like I would sort of, like, be the center of the world, if that makes sense, in a sense of, like, because I'm focused on school and work and my social life and making time for other things, as well as trying to now make time for this new person, they would probably feel like I'm not there enough for them, or I'm not putting enough effort into trying to get to know them as much as they are into me, or trying to make time to spend with them as much as they are into me. And it would probably, like, cause, like, a clashing of the heads. So I'm finding myself in that pickle of, like, wanting a relationship and knowing that, like, I want a family and kids, but also wondering if I even do have time to really get to know someone enough to have a relationship. And I feel like a lot of all of these things that are happening are sort of, like, in a timeline, and it all, like, kind of flows into me just sort of learning to focus on myself right now. And it's okay for you when you feel like your life is just so busy all at once and you don't know where to go, and you feel like there are, like, 10 people pulling you in all these different directions. I've noticed that I feel like that's the time where you're supposed to, like, just focus on yourself and let things just happen naturally. Let life happen naturally. Let, like, put in the work, but let certain milestones happen naturally. Let love happen naturally. Like, and it will come when you least expect it. And it's interesting because I'm finding myself, like, running into all these different couples and people that my age are getting married now, and, like, they're moving into their first home together, or they're having, like, their first child together. And I tell them how that's where I thought that I would be in life at this point. And I asked them, like, you know, how did you get to that point? How did you, like, sort of allow your heart, or, like, allow your walls to be down in order for that to happen? Like, what was that turning point in your life? Like, what did you do to attract that type of energy? And a lot of them say that it just happened when they weren't looking for it. It happened when they weren't looking for it, when they were at work, when they were at school, when they were just minding their business, like, just pouring into their own cup and doing what they needed to do. That's when their partner came into their life. And they just found a way to work around each other, work with each other eventually. And I think that that's really beautiful, and I think that's the wavelength that I am trying to be on right now. And maybe that can help you in a sense. And so now is the part where we get to go through my Curlfest bag. All right, y'all. I did a drum roll. The moment that you guys have all been waiting for. Curlfest. I got a little swag bag. It was originally supposed to be July 20th, but then they actually moved it to August 17th, so yesterday. So they changed the date and then they changed the location. So like I was saying, originally Curlfest was supposed to be July 20th at Randall's Island, but then they changed it to Prospect Park yesterday due to, I guess, like different circumstances. And to be honest, getting to Randall's Island is a lot of work. You have to take like the train all the way to Harlem, and then you have to catch this one bus that goes there, but only comes like once every 2 hours. And the last time I tried to go there for like a vegan festival, what had happened? Like, we couldn't catch the bus, so then we tried to take like a Uber we try to walk to a certain point and then take like a Uber to a bridge. But then the Uber driver made us get off like halfway across the bridge, or like halfway to the bridge. So then we had to walk the rest of the way to the island. Like, it was just so tiring, and we only were there for like 3 hours before we went back home. So it was just a lot. It was just a lot. So I'm kind of low-key glad that they ended up like changing it to somewhere accessible in Brooklyn. But the problem was July was like a lot more convenient for people. So like a lot of people didn't end up showing up because July was convenient for them. That's when they took off their PTO. People were flying down to New York to go to Curlfest, and then they just changed the date. So it was a lot, but I ended up having fun. I went with like a few girls from my WhatsApp group. I had like a VIP pass, and that got me the swag bag, and that got me access to like a few different things. So I wanted to like go through the back with you guys, which will definitely be going in the wash after. So they gave us actually like a big little bag of goodies, if I say so myself. So I opened like a few of them up actually like on my way back home yesterday. But so the first thing we have are like some samples from Sacred, Beyonce's hair care line. I don't know if you can like really see the packaging. This is the back. And then inside are like some hair care samples. So like some shampoo. I have some shampoo. I have like a coupon for 10% off. I have a treatment mask. And I have a deep conditioner. So not too bad. Not too bad at all. And you know what's interesting? I have her perfume. I have her perfume that I won at like a raffle. When I went to like a private screening of Renaissance, like some girl from like my meetup group like rented out the whole theater, and we just like paid for like I think like $28 or something. It had to be like $8 or something. And we got to see Renaissance and like just live throughout the whole concert. It was so much fun. I got some rice water, which I've never used before, but I heard it's like really good for your hair. I got this little satin scarf, or like you could use it to make like a head wrap too. I have like 100 of these, to be honest, but I just never know how to like tie them around my head. So if anyone wants to give me a tutorial, you are more than welcome. I got this like little Monster energy drink. I never really used to drink Monster. I don't even think that I really like drank it as a kid. But I know that Ruby Red is like grapefruit, so I'm guessing it has like a sour, like citrusy taste, or like bitter, I should say. So that will be very refreshing later. I got this Edge Fixer Edge Control, which will be very useful for my edges. I got this Shea Moisture Amla Oil. This Amla Oil deep conditioner, which I am very excited for because I've only used the coconut line and the Jamaican black castor oil line. I've never heard of this. So that should be really fun for when I'm doing like a wash and conditioner day. I got some Miss Jessie's Feather Soft Curls. I got another rice water. I'm guessing this is something that you kind of like just spray in your hair and then you leave it. I don't think you're supposed to like wash it out. Yeah, I think you just leave it in your hair. I got some hair growth oil from Tropical Isle Living. And I already used like their black castor oil, so that should be nice. I got some bonding oil from the same line that made the deep conditioner. So I'm guessing you could use like both of these together. So that'll be fun. I got a dual brush. One has this is the soft side, and this is the side with the bristles. I got a dual brush. And lastly, I got some more Miss Jessie's. Some for, I guess this is like some type of hair gel. So that's all that I got from the swag bag. And then my friends and I were walking around, and we found like this place called Kiss Colors and Care. We got this stall, and you could spin a wheel and get like a free gift bag. So I spun the wheel, and I won this. And this is some hair and scalp serum, some healthy scalp and hair serum. And it has rosemary oil, peppermint oil, castor oil, and like 10 other ones. So I'm guessing it's like if you just mix basically all of a natural girl's like secret hair oils into one, which I do sometimes, like once in a blue moon. I have some foam mousse, which is so cute, little travel size mousse. I got some braiding gel. I got some more braiding gel. I got 2 of them. And then I got a mini version of a bond repair conditioner. So overall, I feel like I got a lot of stuff. And some of it is more for like if you have like loose natural hair. But a lot of these things I could use, like the rice water, the hair oil, the edge control, the leave-in conditioner, the hair samples. So I'm very grateful for Curlfest for that, and very excited to use them, and maybe even give my review one day. Who knows? But if you take anything away from this video, me talking about, fear of missing out and everything, if you get any message from what I've been yabbering about for about 20 minutes, I would say that it kind of makes you feel bad. It makes you feel bad, and it sort of hinders your ability to focus on like whatever important goals that you have going on in your life. And I always talk about it with my therapist, and to me, it's like this negative feeling you get when, you find out that your friends are having fun at like happy hour, or you have to work late, or this anxiety you have when you choose a date with like your partner over like going to like a networking event, or like, doing some sort of research for yourself. And I feel like when you have those types of like problems, or when you have these type of issues, it's important for you to like kind of like take a step back and do some reflection. And I feel like there's like a cognitive reason behind everything when it comes to like your behavior and whatnot, and these things, like these certain things, can help you to achieve your goals. And whether you feel uncomfortable, whether you feel anxious or disappointed, it kind of helps to learn how to do certain things that will help you to relax when you do feel this anxiety, so that you can stop, in a sense, like comparing yourself to other people, or comparing yourself to other people's journeys. And it might help you reach out for some help. It might help you to like learn to minimize certain distractions. Or it can just help you like be more likely to reach your goal by a certain time. But with the fear of, having certain goals and those goals end up changing, or you have to focus on some things more than others, over time you sort of learn that not everything has like a perfect, this is what I'm supposed to be doing something by. Like, everyone's journey is different. Everyone has different schedules in their day. And sometimes you can overestimate how good an experience is, and it causes you to devalue the current experience you have now. When it's like, it's okay to just focus on what you're going through in life now that can prepare you towards the future. So, if you've made it this far, thank you for listening. Thank you very much for listening. And it's always also good to take a break from social media, which I feel like also, like I mentioned before, helps, is not very good, and it sort of contributes to having this fear of missing out or like triggering your depression. And get off social media for a while, you know, at least until you can get like a handle on your thinking and on your mind. And it's a challenging thing to do, but it's really worthwhile. And a few of these benefits is you get to like have more time to engage in like activities that make you happy, better conversation with people, and it just overall like improves your mental and your body intelligence. So hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and talk to you guys in the next video. Peace and love.